Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. What's going on? What's popping, y'all? What's good? Where are y'all while you're watching me right now, huh? Are y'all at home? Are y'all at work? Or are y'all just doing you and chilling? Please let me know down in the comments, okay? So, guys, I have a great video for y'all today, as always. Just saying, as always, okay? So, this one's called Dumb Expensive Houses That Are a Waste of Money. I'm not surprised about this because these people with money, they be wasting it. When I say waste, I mean blowing it. Okay, so please just like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, y'all. If y'all already watched at least 2 of my videos, y'all should just go ahead and subscribe right now. Okay, because half of y'all aren't subscribed that watch my videos, so y'all can just go ahead and subscribe. Okay, alright, cool, and that notification too. Alright, so let's just get right into the video. Let's go.
Picture your dream home. While you may be envisioning pools, saunas, and sea views, others have very different ideas for their perfect abodes. From mansions that look like they were designed by 3-year-olds to the biggest waste of $2.5 million you'll ever see, here are some dumb, expensive houses that are a waste of money.
You're out here wilding.
The Slammer. One man's dream home is another man's nightmare. Nowhere is this more evident than with magician Penn Jillette's bizarre Las Vegas home nicknamed the Slammer. What started as a simple A-frame house with 2 floors became a massive 7-bedroom, 8-bathroom, 2-kitchen spectacle with heavy-duty fences to keep rabid Magic fans at bay. Although they'd have a hard time finding the place to begin with, as it's a very isolated property located in the middle of the Mojave Desert. To transform the property into what it is today, Gillette splashed out, buying land around the initial 2.5-acre property, turning it into a 10-acre compound. As it grew, the Slammer began to feature some, shall we say, unusual features. These included the questionable color scheme, eccentric architecture, and an eyebrow-raising mismatch of styles. Then, of course, there was the baffling toilet office, a Scrabble-themed bathroom, and murder scene-themed flooring. Who could forget the multicolored fake grass lawn? Though this might seem like the perfect place for an eccentric man of show business, even Gillette encountered issues. While he claimed that he would have lived there forever if he didn't have kids, children simply don't want to be raised in an isolated compound in the middle of the desert. The general ugliness of the place may not have flown too well with them either, and it made selling the property almost impossible. Gillette initially reported that the house was simply too eccentric to attract a buyer, but after 2+ decades of ownership, he eventually sold the land at a loss to developers for $1.88 million in 2016, with all the expensive eccentricity being bulldozed to the ground. Maybe for Gillette's next trick, he'll build an even weirder house?
That's Willy Wonka.
Paris Hilton's dog mansion. Who let the dogs out? Definitely not Paris Hilton, because she spent a fortune on a ridiculous way to keep the dogs in. The hotel chain heiress and socialite worth $100 million is entitled to spend her fortune how she wants. But a $325,000 mansion for her dogs? Even though Paris is reported to have around 30 dogs, that's still more money than most people spend on their own homes. The doghouse is a 2-story mini villa with air conditioning, heating, designer furniture, and a chandelier. While $325,000 is a drop in the ocean for Paris, it just seems like a lot of effort for what's effectively a giant litter box for dogs. Who am I kidding? Paris Hilton doesn't clean dog poop herself. She probably has an entire team of staff for that. Hong Kong High Roller. While the value placed on a house always takes a number of factors into consideration, the price of this next home goes beyond any sense of reason. So what's the price for this 5,700 square foot 4-bedroom fixer-upper with a faded exterior? $447 million. For perspective, that's enough to buy both of these private islands more than 3 times over. This somewhat shabby house sits on one of the costliest pieces of real estate in the world, the gated Middle Gap Road community in Hong Kong. Considering an empty lot on a nearby road sold to developers for $657 million, you might begin to understand the kind of money that gets thrown around in an area like this. You might even see this place as a bargain, but you'd be wrong. While the Middle Gap Road property has great views of Deepwater Bay and is a short drive from Hong Kong's Central Business District, a $447 million price tag still seems extortionate. It's no wonder there are still no takers, as the owners haven't budged on the price. But hey, throw in a couple of private islands, and I'll take it.
Right.
McMansions. With a name that intentionally compares homes to mass-produced fast food, you can probably guess there's not a lot of positive stuff to say about McMansions. These cheaply built, hugely overpriced types of mass-produced mansions are found throughout the United States, all in similar cookie-cutter styles that combine mismatched architectural styles, usually painted in an awful shade of beige. Throw in jumbled, illogical roof stylings, decorative hollow columns, out-of-place uneven turrets, and a total lack of balance and symmetry, and you've got yourself a prime McMansion. The houses are typically around 3,000 square feet with 9 to 10 foot ceilings and luxurious features like chandeliers to help them hit the mansion definition and justify price tags in the millions. These slapdash homes were actually highly sought after in the early 2000s, as they were the middle ground between more modest suburban homes and the expensive homes in gated communities. But today, with more people aware of the poor quality architecture on show, which usually implies bigger issues with the construction quality, McMansions are mostly just seen as eyesores.
I think this one's just
people
stupid.
feel so passionate about the matter that there's even a website dedicated to criticizing them. You might say that's a little McMean, but I think it's absolutely McNecessary. Let me know what you think about McMansions in the McComments below.
Stop.
Statue of Liberty House. Derek Jeter might be one of the best baseball players of his generation, but his choices of home decor are a little questionable. The Miami Marlins part owner and former New York Yankees captain bought Franklin Castle, found in Greenwood Lake, New York in 2003 for just $425,000. It was a steal at the time, but the sale price he's now asking for his souped-up overhaul of the castle will leave your jaw on the floor, and not in a good way. While the mixture of castle bricks and modern walls looks a little McMansion-esque in themselves, there's another on-site eyesore that would turn away all but the most patriotic Americans. Meeting your gaze each time you look outside the window is a roughly 12 feet high replica of the Statue of Liberty. Unfortunately, it looks like a giant spray-painted version of a key ring you might find in a gift shop. But if tackiness and unnecessary excess are your kind of thing, there's more to be found inside. In terms of needless extravagance, the 12,000 square foot mansion goes above and beyond. With 8 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms, a study, a pool, multiple dining areas, and 5 kitchens. Now this wouldn't be so bad, except a number of these rooms have seriously questionable design choices, like this compressed kitchen, or the strange dated decor found in several of the leisure areas, which leaves them looking like someone's grandma's house. While it may have some rustic charm, the property was listed for a whopping $14.75 million, a price tag that's left it on the market for well over a year. It seems there's no patriot rich enough to fork out the cash for an on-site Statue of Liberty that comes with all that gray brick and old carpets. LA's Little Lodging. Now for a drastic change in size, only without a reasonable reduction in price to match it. This tiny home in Los Angeles somehow features 2 bedrooms and a bathroom and just 731 square feet. Despite a minimal, scruffy interior and a backyard in serious need of some TLC, this property recently sold for an unbelievable $1.3 million. While LA property is notoriously expensive this close to Santa Monica Pier,
that's
the
crazy.
only way you could justify spending this much is if there's a secret apocalypse survival bunker underneath. But as there's currently no sign of that, this property remains the most disappointing thing you could ever spend $1 million on. I'll tell you what definitely won't disappoint you though. Taking a second to hit those like, subscribe, and notification
Right, go ahead and hit it
buttons.
right now, y'all.
It may not earn you $1 million, but the content you'll receive from this channel every day,
Priceless, guys.
Palo Alto Abode. Take a look at this itsy bitsy house and have a guess at how much it costs. Got a figure in mind? It'd be reasonable to guess anywhere below a couple $100,000.
Right, that's
After
what I was
all, there's
thinking.
just 636 square feet of living space, including one bedroom, one bathroom, and a hobby room. And while the decor is homely and welcoming, with
Looks
details
nice,
like
yeah.
limestone countertops in the kitchen and a wood-burning fireplace in the living room, the price is unbelievable. For sale at the eye-watering price of $1,590,000.
A million?
Listing calls it a truly charming cottage in an excellent location. Translation, it's extremely tiny and you're really only paying for the location, which happens to be one of the most elite neighborhoods of Palo Alto, California. But what do you expect when your city's median average home value is over $3 million?
What?
Miami's finest. As you're hopefully beginning to
That's
see, not all
crazy.
stupidly expensive houses are massive. In fact,
Right.
some of them aren't even houses at all. This 767 square foot, one bedroom, 1.5 bathroom apartment at the Satai Residences in Miami Beach was listed at $2.5 million, ranking it among the most expensive tiny homes in America. To play devil's advocate, the apartment does come with many luxuries like concierge staff, room service, and housekeeping. The complex reportedly has a fitness center too, though I think you'd find a better deal cramming your exercise equipment in the Paris
Right.
Hilton's dog mansion. Then again, the Hilton Kennel doesn't have those incredible bedroom and balcony beach views. Maybe that's why it didn't hit its target price and sold for a measly $1.4 million in 2017.
That's still
It's
a lot.
basically chump change. Okay. I'll stop pretending to be rich now.
Thank you.
Airport house. If you're ever flying to Ocala, Florida, you might be alarmed to look down and see that your airplane is passing over the airport. But don't panic. You're not on an unscheduled detour. You're just flying over the home of Saturday Night Fever star John Travolta. Travolta is such a
Oh,
huge
John.
airplane fanatic that he not only became a certified private pilot at the age of 22, but for years he lived in a functional private airport called Jumbo Lair. On the property, his 5-bedroom house is extravagant enough, with a swimming pool, fitness center, and a banquet hall that can house 400 guests. But the strange and stupidly excessive part is that it also has not one, but 2 airplane runways leading straight to the house. According to Travolta, he'd always wanted to be able to hop out of the front door straight into a plane, to fly off to dinner somewhere nice.
The
Plus, the poor
luxuries.
fellow had never been able to see his planes from his yard until he extended the runway. Rich people problems, am I right? Owning 5 different
There you go. That's me right there. I always say I want to have rich people problems at this point in time in my life. That's what I keep telling my friends, y'all. I need some rich people problems right now. I need to be trying to figure out where I want to park this yacht. Like, should I park it over there or over there? Ugh, this is so confusing. Like, give me those problems, please. Okay.
different types of aircraft, including a full-size Boeing 707. I can see why he might need a place to store them, but forking out millions so you can land them in your driveway seems like a supremely excessive waste of money to me. After
is.
all, if you can't be satisfied with one runway on your doorstep, happiness won't just fly in by building a second one closer to the porch. Perhaps John Travolta also realized this, as in 2019, the 550-acre compound was put on the market for $10.5 million.
Really, he sold it after all
Cube
that?
house. Do not adjust the angle of your screen. That's how this next house is supposed to look. This home in Toronto, Canada was inspired by Dutch architect Piet Blom's cube houses built in Rotterdam in the 1980s, and is just as eyebrow-raising in its Canadian iteration. It's a house and a cube. I don't know about you, but that doesn't
Confused.
sound too practical or comfortable.
Right.
With sloping walls and bizarrely shaped windows, Toronto's cube house just seems like more trouble than it's worth. Though with 1.5 bathrooms, a kitchen, and an office space all crammed into those unforgiving angles, it's hard to deny it's a little impressive. But as distinctive as it looks, its cubic appearance won't be sticking out like a pixelated tree among the neighborhood's other buildings much longer. The property was purchased by real estate developers in 2018 for a hefty $2,750,000, with the goal of tearing it down and replacing it with condos. Is the destruction of the cube house
Oh.
a blessing or a curse
Yes,
for Toronto?
it's definitely a
Is
blessing.
it really
I don't
worth
know what that was.
$2.75 million? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Spaceship house. When supermodel Naomi Campbell's ex-partner, Russian billionaire Vladislav Dorinin, hired Zaha Hadid to design a house, he must have told her to boldly go where no designer had gone before. She certainly did so, because the result looks like something from a sci-fi movie.
Right,
Located
I was
in
just about to
Vyivka, on the outskirts of
say.
Moscow, the 28,500 square foot structure resembles a cross between this and this, and appears equally space age on the inside. The mansion's 65-foot tall towers are made mainly from concrete and huge panes of glass, which are supposed to combine with the interior decoration to enhance the futuristic look. Though if you ask me, it just looks like a gigantic child left his fancy toys on the lawn. Dorinin has been trying to sell the home since 2016 and listed it for $100 million in 2019. This is certainly a hefty price for something so bizarre looking, but it's actually a substantial
I
loss
like
for
the
Dorinin,
inside.
since it cost $140 million to build. Though the house was built specifically for Naomi Campbell, she and Dorinin broke up in 2013. With that in mind, I can't help thinking this mansion was just a very expensive way of saying they needed some space.
Wow. Y'all get it?
Gold house. Some people really like gold. Like,
Right.
really. Just ask architect
True.
Robert Stone, because he designed and built a 1,400 square foot house built around the very idea of gold. It's not actually made of the expensive metal we all know, but every aspect of the design is geared up to creating the illusion that it is. With walls and ceilings crafted from metal and polished into mirrors, it really does look like someone's dropped the world's largest gold ingot into the desert. And it's not just the exterior either. The interior is similarly outfitted in
Inside,
hues
too.
of white, gold, and champagne. It's beautiful, sure, but here's the problem. The house, which Stone calls Aceto Dorado, or gold acid, is located in the Southern California desert. As you might expect, deserts get hot, so sitting in a metal building covered in mirrored surfaces is going to get very
Hot.
sweety very quickly, like a greenhouse.
No
But gold.
air conditioning?
Even so, Aceto Dorado is being offered as a vacation home at $440 a night. So I can only assume they have some top-of-the-line air conditioning. Will you
Right.
shell out for this expensive night of luxury?
Have
Let me know in
to.
the comments below. Lego house. If as a child I'd been told that somewhere a real home made out of Legos existed, I'd be straight out the door to begin my pilgrimage there. But it's true. A Lego house was indeed constructed by the BBC's James May and a group of 1,000 volunteers back in 2009. May and his crew used 3.3 million Lego bricks to build a 20-foot tall
They were
Lego home in
actually
Surrey,
Legos?
England in 2009. It came complete with a working toilet, sink, and a very uncomfortable bed, all made from Lego bricks. While the Lego house
That's
was intended to be
crazy.
relocated to Legoland in Berkshire, the cost and logistics
Why is there so much effort to silence our voices? And the answer is because when we vote, things change. When we vote, things get better.
provided too much to be worthwhile. It would have cost an estimated $60,000 to dismantle and rebuild on top of the
Wow.
initial build cost. And if the average price per brick is 10 cents, then it likely cost around $330,000 to initially build. And that's before factoring in the TV cruise payment. But after all the effort of construction,
That's too much.
despite attempts to save the Lego house, it was eventually demolished. As entertaining as the televised build was, building one of your own only seems like a worthwhile investment if you're a 6-year-old billionaire. Even so, the demolition of James May's project didn't stop future attempts at building a real-life functional Lego house. In 2015, an overly optimistic individual tried to raise $1 million on Kickstarter to do this. To this day, however, it's only received $33 from 7 backers. I'd say that's a sign it's time to let go of the idea. Transparent house. Many architects try to design
I've heard
houses
about
that
these.
allow plenty of natural light, but this next house design is just ridiculous. Natural light is the whole idea behind this transparent house, a proposed concept home from Sue Fukimoto Architects. Inspired by humanity's ancestors who lived in trees, the idea is to be able to sit anywhere and be bathed in sunshine. It may seem very sleek and modern, but solid, opaque walls exist for a reason. If this house were real, you'd have no privacy whatsoever, as all your activities could be seen by your neighbors and passersby. Say goodbye to walking around in your underwear, and you'd better hope no one throws a rock in your direction, or all the money you spent on your house would come shattering down before your very eyes.
as they say. Well, it's kind of related, but it's not at the same time. But in Jamaica, we always say if you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. Get it? If you don't get it, let me know down in the comments and I'll explain it to y'all. But it's kind of straightforward, I guess. But let me know in the comments if y'all don't get it.
Toilet House. Sim J. Duck,
Toilet
one-time
House.
mayor of Suwon, South Korea, earned himself the nickname Mr. Toilet after successfully renovating local public restrooms during his term in office. He was so enthusiastic about toilets, he even founded the World Toilet Association. But his passion didn't end there. In 2007, he built his dream home, a house shaped like a giant toilet. He called it Hen J, which means a house to satisfy anxiety. Although I only feel more anxious knowing that he spent roughly $1.1 million to build it. That's a very big commitment to toilet humor. After J. Duck's passing, the house was made into a toilet museum with 2 floors of exhibitions showing the importance of toilets. So at least his legacy wasn't completely flushed away. Pierre Cardin's Bubble Palace. As far as fashion designer Pierre Cardin is concerned, the times of houses being made up of straight lines and right angles has gone on too long. Or at least that's the impression you get from looking at his vacation home known as the Bubble Palace. Found near Cannes, France, this bizarre abode was designed by architect Antti Lavag with the simple goal of no straight lines in sight. And save for the walls at the back of this quality property, I'd say he met his aim. Now granted, the 13,000 square foot house has a lot of amazing features, including 10 bedrooms, numerous swimming pools, and a 500-seat amphitheater. But it's hard to look past the design, which resembles a sea anemone mutated by nuclear radiation. Regardless of the somewhat disgusting appearance, it took 14 years to be constructed, and Cardin took another 5 years to restore it. He listed it for sale in 2017 at the astronomical price of $389 million. Considering how uncomfortable just looking at the place makes people feel, I think
Not that
someone's
bad,
going to have to
but
burst
nobody's
his
going to
bubble,
buy that.
or his Bubble Palace. Which house do you think was the biggest one?
Okay, y'all, so that was the end of the video. Thank y'all for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe, y'all. I can't say it enough. Subscribe. Okay, so I like that video. I think 2 of the houses I like, but the rest is a no-go for me. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So thank y'all for watching again. Bye, guys.